Tonight, I'm joined with a wonderful lady that I met recently.
Yeah.
She had a unfortunate event in her life that happened to her. She lost her son, and she wants to talk to us today, tonight, so we're going to say, about the events surrounding the murder of her son. And I'm going to pass it on to her. She will introduce herself, and we're going to move closely as we can to what happened. So go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Arash Nikoonejad. I born in Iran, Tehran. I'm married and I have two sons. We came to the United States 1989. My two sons were little. My oldest son was 4 years and my youngest son was 9 months, 10 months. So they grow up in the United States. As they grow up in the United States, they're Iranian American. Although my youngest son born in Germany, he said he always would go there. But we are not here today to talk about these tragic events happen for us, our family. My son died. 3 men involved killing my son. November 4th, 2019. It's going to be 3 years. The reason I'm trying to connect with people because I need to get justice for my son, justice for my Arash. My son's name is Arash Nikoonejad. He was 35 years old. As you see, he was in the United States over 31. If he was alive, he would be 38. He left behind son, gift for me. As a result of his death, it's so tragic. Truly, I do my best not to get emotional. It's very hard. Not long ago, mid-July, the courts just finished. And these 3 men get away from murder. So that's why I am demanding for justice in any possible way that broken heart mother can do.
Got it. So, no, totally. No, that's fine. What I want to start asking you, number one, is that so you gave us some ideas about your son and what happened. I mean, to begin with, from your life journey coming from Iran to United States and so forth. How did this conflict start? You know, what was the background of this whole event that ultimately led to your son, being murdered?
Sadly, the area, the community he was living, that's what the police department saying, or whoever I talked to, oh, that's very rough area. So his area was very dangerous. Like my son always say, police even scared coming there. Police wouldn't come over there. And he was right, sadly. So what happened was 6 months prior to that, he rented that apartment. We just moved from Minnesota. Well, he lived in Florida for long, but they decided to get out of Florida. They didn't like the way things going in Florida, so they decided to go to Minnesota. So long story short, they went to Minnesota. So 2018, and they took me with them too. So I didn't like it because it's cold, and he helped me to move back. as a result of that, he moved and he was going to go back to his wife and his child over there. But so as he rented the place 1 year, he stayed there. And when I felt it, that area is not comfortable or is not safe. Although I couldn't tell him because he wasn't agree with that. If I open my mouth, say something about people there, he would be getting upset because he always very kind to people. And he believed God strongly. And so he had another 6 months to finish his lease. The day he died, he had interviewed for job. He was a chef. So yeah.
What was
That's
his
another story.
specialty? Was it like what kind of a food like what cuisine?
He cooked everything. He went to culinary art, and that's what he loves. The first dish he made, he was 5 years old. He made the
Wow,
spaghetti.
that's amazing.
He always liked to be cooking food,
That's
and he
amazing.
was very good at it. And so anyway, he had job interview next day, and the night before Monday, when this tragedy occurred, I talked to him, and very briefly. Sunday we had long talk, but Monday briefly we talked, and he said, "Mom, I love you, bye 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 bye," just like that. And I never forget his voice. That's the last sound of his voice I hear. I keep repeating it in my mind. I can't hear his voice anymore. So as I find out what happened in these 3 years, that night when he hung up the phone, 3 men who involved, well, 2 to start it, they hit my son with the car. They ran over him, throw him 20 feet. And I don't want to go to details what happened, but they had no right to do that, of course. In the result, police arrest them, but that's after he died. So they ran over him. They go around his community building. The man in the passenger was his neighbor. And so my son got up, and there was a lot of witnesses there. They saw it. Supposedly he was okay because people asked him, "He okay?" He said, "Yes." He's very strong. He used to do 100 push-ups. He's a very strong person. And so, but obviously he wasn't. As you know, they say if you fall and you hit your head, to go check because internally you're gonna get hurt. So he got hurt a lot internally. His ribs all broken and all that. So, but he didn't die from that. He went home around 10:30, 10:15. My son was sitting outside, and he's used to watching the moons, and he always say, "Mom, you hooked me with the moon." So that's why he was sitting out there. And these people came with the car, and he got up. Supposedly he got up. He asked them for his money because they owe him money. So, and they argue. No one said what happened after that, but the third person saw from across the street, or the other building next to them, from the window. He saw them fighting with him, holding him, beating him, punching him, and all that. So, and then he managed to lose them and saying, I'm done with you guys. Okay, you guys don't have nothing for me. Just the way the witness said. So as he was walking to his house, one of the guy got the gun and shot him. So they came back with the gun, and so they shoot him. And then as the third guy talking about why he's the third, I'm talking because he helped them in some point in a bit I explained. So he saw them beating him again, kicking him again. And so it was very graphic. It took 4 days of the court time. And most of the times I had to get out when the doctor's explaining the details. And so And then one of them, which is the neighbor, not the shooter, told them, and they know they shoot him. It was 2 gunshots. As a result, the person who saw them called 911. So they probably know this or whatever. I don't know. So who knows? They say they told him get out and go to the house. So, and he went to the house himself, but I don't believe that. They probably, because when they released the house after 3 weeks, the house was looking a struggle. The house was a struggle. I have a video my husband accidentally recorded because he was taking picture, but he recorded when I was yelling and screaming, crying and all that. I was very upset. And it is only 4 seconds, but I wish he continued because I went.
And I'm sorry, one question. So who is establishing the fact that he himself went to the shower?
As investigator or forensics people came and they say, yeah, they saying they, as they make the report, there are many. I had I saw maybe 3-4 doctors came for all different kind of reason and questioning all that. So, and 911 being called. If the 911 came, probably there's 1 cops came and turned around and left. And that time they had my son in the house, and the third person, they get help from the third person to bring bloody hat, which is they found that hat in the house of the shooter. So that's all the evidence. So this guy is, to me, has to be charged too, because he helped them. He said he was scared. He didn't have nothing to do with his kicking and killing him and running over him. But they brutally killed my son. He helped with the hat. He could save my son. He should get charged too, in my eyes. So he took the hat for them in a Walmart. While they were doing that, my son is dying in the house, and 911, there was no paramedic coming. 911 was gunshot. No paramedic came. No fire department came to making noise. People come out, so they know there was incidents earlier. So I think a few days after, well, on the 8th, they find him.
I'm sorry, before we move on, so I want to make this clear. So what you're saying is that when whomever called the 911, the emergency line, and actually reported on the phone that, there is a gunshot incident here, yet
Yes.
when the emergency crew arrived, there's no
Nothing's
paramedic,
arrived.
no
Nothing's
emergency,
arrived.
nothing arrived. Okay.
Nothing arrives, only the police car going around the building, no knocking on the doors, nothing. When gunshots, there has to be more looking because someone might be hurt.
Okay.
So in
this
result,
is how,
yeah, my son
to
was
begin
there.
with, this is what their response was, and this is how they managed the situation to begin with.
Yes,
This was their response to manage the situation.
They did wrong.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they did wrong. Yes. So yeah, they saying he went in the shower himself. I don't believe that. And as he was showering, he just passed. So, and then we didn't find him until Friday. So I called him at night because I had a dream and I was worried, and I got up and I called, no one picked up. I know he's not sleeping, and he wasn't. They were kicking him, hitting him, hurting him, shooting him. So I came downstairs and I told my daughter-in-law, I think something wrong. He doesn't pick up the phone. And as we had to be there because of the other son, and we called in the morning, no answer, 100 times, of course, until Wednesday we called. And then I called family members, and that took until Thursday, Friday. So they could hold up the management. So they went and opened the door, and my son was dead already. And so, and then after that, we've been called, and we were driving, of course, and I think 1 or 2 hours, maybe 3 hours before on Friday they came. And when we came, we got in front of his house. They announced deceased, and I didn't even get to see him, hug him, nothing. They didn't let me go see him. I didn't see my son. I didn't hug him. I didn't get a chance to goodbye him. Nothing. Done. And it's not fair. Okay, they killed him tragically. Awful, awful, awful act. The way they killed him, the way they let him be. Animal doesn't do that to animal their own kind. They don't. And then what we do to each other is not fair. And then how I trust the law authorities to help us.
And this is
Yeah.
the next phase, actually, the
Mhm.
way that you believe that rather you were fooled into not taking actions that could potentially bring these people to justice the way they should.
Yes, because
Yeah.
you know, when someone died, there's a stage you go through. You're shocked, you're numb, you're basically dead, especially your first child born,
Yeah.
you know. And you know, Arash was love of my life. He wasn't just my son. I loved him dearly. And
So and I'm sorry to interrupt you because I really want to, you know, the people know unfortunately the shortcomings, or rather the perhaps regression that happened from the side of the people who were supposed to do their due diligence and indeed do their what that's their responsibility is to make sure that, you know, that, you know, the law is, the justice is served. And obviously in your opinion that's not what happened, right?
no,
Yeah.
I've been told something, but in the end, the result, what happened is like card flip.
Right. So you before when we talked, you told me that to begin with we were rather they tried to convince you and then tell you that you should not even seek an attorney in the court proceeding, correct?
Yes, they told me you don't need an attorney. We got them. I said, well, why? What if they move? What if they, you know, died? Because one of the neighbors who my son was helping had
Mhm.
health issue. My son helping him, so they say no. And we know where they live, and we know all their families, and we. So what happened? They arrest the shooter first. Even in the investigations to check the body and all that, I think they have mistaken, because in 3 weeks my son's body was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because they didn't see the gun wound. So and then so they had 2 times forensic check the body. So we live in the city, which is Gainesville, Florida, and is a student city, and there's a hospital. Chance is very popular here. So he was going back and forth to Chance and cemetery, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for 3 weeks, almost 5 times. The 5th time they didn't even tell me, because they know how bad it is for me. I was screaming at them. So one of these doctors find out, hold his shirt. He said, wait a minute, there's a hole in here. So that's how they bring him and find out there's a gunshot. So they know they shot him.
So from just looking at the body from the beginning, or the autopsy, they could not even come to the conclusion that there was a gunshot, or at
Yeah,
least that's what
the very
at least
first
that's what they say.
autopsy. Yeah, they told me he fell and he hit his head to the bathtub. That's the
Okay.
first thing they told me. And
So
then
the first,
they
I'm sorry, this is important. This is really actually
yeah,
important. So basically, the first report that came out from the supposed doctors who investigated
With the
this, the
autopsy, yeah.
supposed experts, they said that, you know, there was no mention of any gunshots or any of that.
No,
There was
no,
no, and I'm assuming that based on what they told you, you didn't even suspect that there's such a thing going on.
no, I've been telling them, my son is very strong. He's not gonna fall and hit his head. Something happened. And then as witness came along, they found out he got hit with the car. So they went and arrested this guy who hit my son. And they charged him as a murderer, but it's because he's with the car. This is what happened. When they charged him 2 times in different way. He got 2 charges in the result of my son's death. That's why one of the mistake is this, the police department made. Because the forensic and autopsy wasn't done good job at the first. So there's lots of holes here that they did wrong for whatever reason. Either they're unprofessional or is a small county, you know, they're just sloppy or many reasons. So anyway, and then I said, that's impossible. My son is not. And then they said that he got hit with the car. That's what the witnesses came and told us as they were going, always investigating, of course, in the community. So they found, that's how they arrest the guy. And then he said, oh, I was just giving him lesson. And then he said, oh, I never hit him. I wasn't even there. So anyway, they let him go with the bond. And then I said, impossible. He's not going to die. And he got up and he said he's okay. And then why the paramedic, why nobody called 911? So you can't go after anybody not calling 911. Why he didn't call 911? Because he was strong. He didn't know he got hurt. So anyway, and then back and forth, someone saw the holes in the shirts. So they brought the body back again, 4th time, 5th time. So they found a bullet in his chest, which is, it came from the back, just the way the witness said. They shot him from the back, and then he went to his heart, and he died as a result of the shooting.
So these doctors, throughout the course of the first autopsy, they could not even find the bullet or any kind of. That's amazing.
So,
okay.
So they
or at least that's what they say. At least that's what they
explain. Yeah, they explained it because he was in the water, in the shower, water was running. So, and I don't think he goes in the shower, and he probably have pain. He probably felt the gunshot. So I think when I saw the house is just struggling, so they took him in the house, they run the water over him. And because I used to be with him in his house, the wall was all broken and all that. So it was hole in the walls between the room and the bathroom from the back door. So
and this was a rental, so very
yeah,
likely
it was a mobile home, very, very, very soft walls. It was very soft
No, I
walls.
understand. No, I'm just trying to say that basically, very likely prior to your son moving in, you know, if there was any damage from, you know, prior to his move in, you know, they would have fixed all this, so everything was right.
No, it wasn't there. It wasn't there. I know this. I was there every day because we were getting approved for our house here. So we were in his house and my youngest son. So I know how his house looked like. So when they find a gunshot, and they were interviewing everybody. So of course they denied, or no one talked, because they were saying, everybody was saying they were scared because they threatened them. They said, if you talk, we kill you too. Yeah, you didn't see nothing. That's what the witness said, Alfred, the person who helped with their hat, because they called him, told him to bring the hat. And then they were drug dealer too to that neighbor. So these all being talked about it in the court. So he helped to get his bloody hat, which is my son's blood on his hat. They found it in his house, the shooter's house. So that's the evidence. I still get away from a homicide. So, so this guy took the hat for them in Walmart. The timing is just so interesting. Around 10:15, when I was dreaming and I go downstairs, I was thinking of him, and that he came to my dream. It wasn't pleasant. I know he's dead. Still, everybody tell me how it, because kids are very close to their parents, mothers and son, I know something wrong, and I couldn't reach him. I was 5 hours away from him, So can you imagine what I'm going through every day? And that's gonna stay with us forever until we die, you know. Kids should bury parents, not the other way around, And it's just very heavy, very devastating the way law handled it. The state attorneys, we got it, we have evidence, and
Let me ask you a question. I'm sorry if I may jump in. So,
that's
were
okay.
you able to reach out to the media maybe, or talk to them while this was happening?
Media called us actually not too long after. They put that they put this tragedy in the news. Sun and Gainesville Sun. I cannot reach them right now. I cannot reach anybody, and that's why God willing, I found you, Mr. Arash, and likely you have my son's name. It's very, very nice. So and thank you doing this. Hopefully help me to find someone to help us with this situation, get justice for my Arash. And this is not something we have to just put it away. It could happen to anybody.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It can happen to anybody. In these 2-3 years, when whatever we went through, you cannot imagine how hard it is. No one say my son did anything to provoke that. Yeah, he was upset. They were saying he threw a blower on their car, but the blower, he doesn't even have that blower. I don't believe that, because I was living there with him. He did not have that. It was brand new blowers, like someone put it there, or they bought it themselves, the defense. But there's a lot into it. But there's what I'm trying to say. There's no reason anybody in any reason to kill someone. That's the most highest aggressive. They are the aggressive one. They're the killer, cold-blooded killer.
I'm sorry. Just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so so going back to the media, what happened with the media?
So when they called, as a result, well, we were lost ourselves, there's the shocking numbness, and this situation, and Corona pandemic happened, and you could not reach anybody either to begin with. Everything shut down. But before that, they tried to contact us a few times, and as a result of them telling us, no, do not interfere with anything because of the witnesses. What would happen?
You were advised by the courts and the authorities that
police
the police
department.
department told you that do not talk to the media.
Yes, the advocate that I talked to and the police department, they're working together. I found out later. And when I went to City Hall, I tried to reach out to City Hall commissioners, mayors, to see. I was just curious, learning about that, to see where they're going, and they didn't. They even told me, don't tell commissioner any details. I was just
I'm sorry, who told you this exactly?
Advocate who contacted the police, the detective who arrested the man, because when I was in commissioner, the chief police and commissioner, they told me they running some program for gun violence and stuff. They can put my son's name and pictures as a result, and there's something for community This way people learn, and because there are group people who fight for gun violence, and I'm trying to get in there too to see if any changes we can make. So, and then I asked, since they told us to not to tell anybody, talk to anybody because of witness. I don't know what are these witness that they none of these witness get charged either. I'm like, are they working for you guys? And you're curious, you know. And then of course you don't get a right answer. No, the applicant told talk to the detective, as I asked. I should do that. I didn't want to interfere with their investigation, their job, you know. So they said, no, don't put any pictures. So anything I want to do, I thought to follow their rules, or, you know, they're doing their job. I didn't want to interfere. So I don't fly away witness or evidence or
You wanted
whatever
to
they
be
were talking.
cooperative and perhaps help as
Absolutely.
much as you
Yes.
can, so to actually help the situation.
So yeah, I think it was wrong to do that. And then in the end, and then before even that, they're asking for 5 years for this guy. I said, are you kidding me? Someone is like,
Who
my
asked
son
you?
is
Who
nothing.
asked you for 5 years?
The defense asking, they called
So
us in the third
so the
attorney.
defense attorney or the legal team are asking you if you're willing to reduce the charges, so he would only get 5 years.
Yeah. So this is obvious that they know he did it. There's a lot of evidence shows he did it. So they come up with this. I'm like, it's like they're giving these people discount or something. Why? They're drug
Right,
dealers.
right,
The man was in jail for selling drugs for 13 years, and then for murder only not even 10 years. But
So
that's
prior to this incident, he had a felony charge, I would believe so, for 13 years for the charge of possession or sale of drugs, basically, you know, illicit drugs.
and then he got charged 3 years for carrying weapon when he's a felon, but not charged for murder. How the country is heading? What direction this country is heading? Kids get killed and they don't get charged.
So ultimately, the murder charge was not even was not one of the charges that he was convicted for.
Yeah, he was, and he was convicted of aggravated battery and aggravated assault, and carrying gun when you're a felon.
Wow.
What about my dead son? What about my dead son? He's nothing. The life of people don't life of my son doesn't matter.
So the agreement of the jury or the verdict ultimately was that he did not kill your son.
Yeah, in the end, when he made the statement, he said, sorry to harm your family. That's it.
Okay.
You killed my son.
No, I understand that, but the court did not find him guilty of the murder.
Yeah.
Okay, he was charged for other
he got convicted,
things.
Sentenced for others, but not the homicide.
That's amazing. Okay, and the other two people who were accomplice, or at least they were involved in this situation, as you're saying that they were not they did not get any kind of a charge or any kind of conviction.
No charge at all for them.
No charge at all. Wow, that's that is really concerning. Okay.
I mean, what kind of justice for all this is?
And how long this proceeding the whole time took, you know, from the beginning till the end?
2000, very quick. They put, whenever they arrest him, second time they arrest him, they charge him with the first degree murder. So yeah, because when he hit him with the car, they charged him with aggravated battery and aggravated assault already. So, and the second time they arrest him and they find out there was a gun in there, and offered witnesses, the third man who helped them with the hat, saw him shooting, so they know he did it. So they went and arrested him for first-degree murder, and then they put the both charge together. So the because of the other two involved, that's what they say in the end. They're telling me, oh, because I was going to get up and just scream, and everybody told me you should have, because this way it goes to mistrial and maybe it would be different. But now, and then they told me, oh, they can't charge him anymore with anything. So he get away basically with murder, and you guys kept me quiet. It was like two of people sitting with me and trying to not make sure I don't interfere because I get emotional, you
And
know?
who were these people?
There's two advocates from, one is the state attorneys, one is for the state.
So these people were sitting at, were from each side of you.
They say they're coming for support.
Uh-huh. But rather you felt that they were, you know, putting
I
pressure on you,
felt,
making sure that you do not react to it emotionally or anything.
yeah, it feels like they basically hold us to be quiet, even though they know how painful for us what we going through as a result. And basically, I think everybody was just covering themselves, also protecting the criminals, giving them discount. I mean, it from even I'm mad at judge. I'm sorry, you know, this is what they make me feel. When the jury
What-
selection start,
What,
they
what was the number of the jury? How many members were in the jury?
it was 7 to begin, and then usually one they get rid of in some reason. I don't know what's the reason is exactly. I forgot. But and then I think second day one of them got sick anyway, so they weren't. They judge asked the jury, do you want to continue without him, or because we should get rid of one anyway, but they want to continue, so it's day 6. Because we could, if they disagree, we could start all over again and have different jury. And I didn't like the jury either. Bunch of students unexperienced, maybe, you know, they don't know what I'm going through.
And of course, given that you were, they tried to convince you, or I believe rather, maybe it's a good word to say, to hold you back from getting an attorney, because, you know, typically what attorneys can do is that they do have the discretion to try to perhaps, you know, dismiss the jury member, or try to bring basically one that they believe would be more neutral to the case, you know. And you did not have that privilege of having an attorney to try to do some diligence as far as the jury members, right?
The truth is,
You had no
I'm
experience in this
50.
field. You didn't know
So
anything. You did not even know
no,
there's
this
such a,
this is not second time someone get killed in my life, you know, in my family. Never. That's, yeah, of course. What do I know about law, or what I have to do? And I keep asking it, but it's common sense. In the beginning, I tried to, as a result of not. Again, we are in shock. You're dead already. You know, you can't think. Your body's numb. I mean, some of friends, family tell me we could see, you know, it's obvious, you know. I hope no one go through it, because maybe people don't understand. But so I could not think. But even though when Corona happened, February, March, the court was delaying. Every time I get email, and then delaying. So it took over 2 years. Again, midday of July, the court finished. 21st, it was the last.
and while this whole thing is happening, the I guess the suspect is he's free on bond, right? He's not in jail or detention.
No, not now. The first time when they arrested me, he was free of bond. And then the second, I know he was in jail all the time. He served 3 years, so he have another 7 years. And very first day after the court finished, he appeal. So So he might get out. I don't know. They say he doesn't, but I
Come on.
don't
So you
trust
see that
anything they say to me.
from the 10 years that they did for him, they already also counted the time that already had held him.
Yes.
So pretty much from now, likely he will do maybe 7 or 8 years, and then
Yeah.
after that, he would be done.
He
He would be
comes
out.
out. Yeah.
Got it.
They
Got
keep
it.
saying,
So,
oh, he's old and it's not my problem. And then
right. How old is this
it
man?
felt
How old is the suspect?
he was 52 and they arrest him. Now he's 55.
He's 55. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
this is
anyway, I wanna get lawyer. I call many lawyers. No one wants. We are not rich. We are very average people working hard 7, 8 days in our lives here in the United States. I'm disabled now. I had open heart surgery. I don't have money. I called lawyers. I'm not stupid. I know I didn't trust them because my son told me, I said, if the child bothers you, making fun of you, this is illegal too. It's teasing you, bullying you, and this is for school. And they were bullying my son, Muslim Christian, because he wasn't baptized, but he wasn't. He didn't grow up in Iran. Why they making fun of him being Muslim, and then making fun of him? He believed Jesus or believed God. He was shy. I mean, 1 out of 10 word he's coming out of his mouth, 9 of them was God. That's how kind of person he was. He was very kind to people. He take hours to talk to you, even though he has something to do. And there's few incidents. The same day he got killed. These people are very bad people. They killed him because he's kind. These people are thief, drug dealer, and pimp prostitution. And police help them to get away from these. I don't know what plan they have for them, but they should have charged them with the murder and convict them.
right.
Because they're doing to other people, they're dangerous. It's not good for safety of community, and I don't know why they did that. They trick us to not talk to anybody. So I tried to call the lawyer. I talked to a few of them, but they need thousands of money front to even see you. I couldn't do that. And then I've been convinced, okay, they got him. They keep telling me information. They confirm that they got him. They have this witness, they have that witness. They didn't give me 7 pages of police report, not the other 8, because they said, for the witnesses. So what is in that 8? And they still, after 21st, I keep asking for everything. It's still delaying too, because a state attorney say, oh, ask police department, and then police department say, ask them. I said, I want to see all of you guys in the same time. It didn't happen. I just saw the state attorney and 2 advocates. So tell you the truth, with all due respect, with all these authorities, I do not trust them. I don't trust them. Okay. My son got killed, more painful. But afterward, it was like hammer my head, nail in the ground. I cannot get out. I can't sleep at night,
Yeah.
So I don't want this any of these happen to anybody.
Absolutely.
Of course, I was the stupid one. Maybe people are smarter than I'm sure. I hope, but I just don't want anything like that happen. There are many things needs to be changed for 911 called. Police Department Act, state attorneys. In the end, they say, we are sorry, we make a decision, did that, did this, because we were confident he'd be found guilty because someone saw him shooting. That should be good enough. But why he's getting discount? Because we are Iranian? Maybe? I don't know.
So there was a witness who testified that he actually saw this man shooting your son.
Yes, Mr.
This man-
Alfred. Yeah.
This man testified in the court that he saw that the suspect shot your son, right?
Yes. Yes.
And
As he was walking to his house, he
Wow.
shoot him from the back. Coward.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And then 911 called when someone called, gun being shot 2 times. The police just came, no paramedic, no fire department to see who got shot. to see who they find, to see who saw. That man saw, they pointed at my son's house. He didn't get out. The patrol didn't get out of the car, knock on the door to see if the person is okay. They saw him fighting over there. They saw them fighting with him over there in front of his house. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Now I pinch myself all the time. Is that for real? Is that the nightmare doesn't end? You know, anybody understand? Who is there to help? You know?
Right. Absolutely. That is very unfortunate. I hope that you will be able to seek some justice for your son. And I also know
I
that
hope so too.
I also know that you put some GoFundMe together for your son. Is that right?
No, I haven't done it yet. I start justice for my son, and I'm protesting in front of police department, city hall in Gainesville, police department in Gainesville, court of justice in Gainesville, and I don't know where I'm gonna go with that, but I am trying to be positive. That's my personality. And something good to come out of it, I hope. And mostly I'm seeking for justice for him. They have to come brought to justice, since everybody knows he did it. And what is wrong here? What is wrong here? No one should get killed for no reason, and they killed him for no reason.
Absolutely. Yes.
If
Ideally,
he did anything, he should come. He should. He's not there to say. No one said he did anything. So if he did, they should bring him to justice for his wrong, you know, for them. But they killed him. They cut his life short. And I say it all the time, they didn't just kill him, they killed us. They killed us. No parents should go through that. I don't want no parents should go through that. And you know how many are they in Gainesville? No one is talking because they make him not talk. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. So I'm not gonna, I'm done not talking. You know, I'm done not talking.
I hope that we can find a way to try to appeal this, and we can, you know, if you have to, take it further up, even to the Supreme Court.
I am hoping. I'm hoping many people give me a hope. They say don't give up. There are, I don't know what kind of law is that. How are we going to do that?
Yeah.
I'm hoping someone somewhere who know and is fighter, they can help us. I'm hoping.
What is the interest in the? I want to close this with this simple analogy. I would say is that I remember I was reading about this man who actually he was apparently caught by a mistake. Basically, he went through punishment for somebody else's crime, but the story was that, you know, some man tried to rob a woman in front of the Walmart, and while he's trying to, you know, snatch this purse from her, this woman, you know, she's resisting, and ultimately she falls on the ground. And when that happens, and they end up catching the wrong guy, actually, either way, they charge this man not only with theft but also with aggravated assault. And
that's sad.
yeah, and the wrong guy, he went to jail for 17 years.
That's sad.
For the robbery and aggravated
justice. Yeah, this is injustice. And I don't know if the situation, they identify him. Who identify him? The person who got robbed, the lady. I mean, this is wrong too. That's very wrong.
No, it's just that comparing this situation to your situation, that, you know, an actual
I understand.
manslaughter has happened. This raises a lot of question that how is the system gauged at, you know, a robbery or aggravated theft, you know, it
Yeah,
ends up
for
getting
17,
17
yeah.
years. Um, it's a very interesting phenomena, and I hope there are
And no
ways
one
to.
died there. Yeah, they give 5 years for drug dealers, and then they want to give 5 years for killers. They know he's a killer, he's a murderer, and then they didn't even give him the conviction of the murderer. This is why. That's why I never been discriminated. I never felt discriminated the way I felt throughout these 2 3 years for 35 years living in the United States. I never felt so low,
Let me ask you
hopeless.
one more. I have one more question for you. Did your son at the time, did he have any like an auto insurance policy?
Yes,
He had an auto. Okay.
yes,
Okay.
he did.
And I'm assuming the car that these people hit your son with it, they also had some insurance on that vehicle. Do you know about that or?
The guy, yeah, I'm sure if they don't, that's wrong too. Yeah,
Okay.
I never thought of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, just the fact establishing the fact that these people use the car to assault your
And
son.
their car never get damaged, but they harm my son, throw him 20 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you brought it to my attention. Now we can do a lot to get him in trouble. Any way we can for
Yeah.
him to,
Well,
you know,
minimally, at least in the civil case or in a tort law, you can at least claim some damage as for what happened to your son. You
I
know,
would,
from
I
doing
would
something.
keep that in consideration. I'm gonna tell him, yeah, because I'm gonna meet with them again. I mean, I'm not gonna leave them alone until I get some result. I'm hoping some attorneys help me, but so far no luck on that. I haven't found anybody, and I couldn't get anybody calling me. And I don't know if it's because of pandemic, it's a little difficult or what it is. I don't know. But the killing doesn't stop. The criminal doesn't don't people do all these. I mean, there is no night in Gainesville, downtown Gainesville. It's a small town. There's no shooting. This Friday they were shooting no one got hurt, but they arrest them. All of them arrested with no bond. No one got killed. And then they killed my son. One is getting only 10 years. The other two didn't get nothing. I just don't understand my I don't know. I don't have the brain for that. I don't know. I'm just lost or bored. I don't know what to say. It just doesn't make sense. It's not fair. It doesn't make sense. It's just wrong. 3 men killed
Absolutely.
my son, and they were involved, and all of them should get charged. They keep saying they were scared. You can't be scared. You were on drugs. They were on drugs. This is the drug situation. That's the problem too. These has to be changing too. My son has only little alcohol, and it wasn't even for that day. The doctor said it was maybe the night before when he was with his cousin. Maybe that's all they had in his system. He wasn't drug dealers. He wasn't junkie. He wasn't bad person. He wasn't thief. He works 2 jobs all the time.
Right. Got it.
And then the
Oh my
law has
Lord.
to support the criminal. They have to talk about very first day judge say, we're here for your right, pointing at the murderer. I just want to hit my head to the wall or something. It just doesn't make sense.
I understand that. I understand that. Okay. Well, I hope that we can find some justice for Mr. Arash. Obviously being a member of the Iranian community to begin with, and of course being as a nation in America, being a citizen here, uh, you know, I
Yeah,
personally
right.
I like to, express my condolences and show that,
Thank you.
we're in it
Thank
together. This is not your issue, that you have to carry this burden around with you. So I hope that we can
Thank
find some solution. And I'd like to thank everybody who watched this video to the end. Thank you
Yes.
so much. If you'd like
Yes,
to reach out to us and perhaps get involved in some ways, uh, please contact us. We will leave the description, the information, contact information in description. Thank you, Miss, and I hope
thank you.
everything turns better than what it already had.
I hope so too, and I
Mhm.
want to thank you for sitting with me, and I appreciate it. I hope I hope everything goes well and I get justice, and I need everybody's prayer and help. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You're most
I
welcome.
appreciate it.
Amazing. Take care, everybody.